Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's special presentation. My name is Chantay Moore. I am one of the marketing directors here with Evolve Financial Partners, and I am delighted to be your guest presenter for this afternoon's special presentation. We call it E2E. What is your plan E? So super happy to have everyone here. We're going to go ahead and get started for the interest of time. Um, as I mentioned before, actually, let me go back here. So, as I mentioned before, so happy to be here with everyone. Among my many other projects that I hold and do, I am what you call an E2E advocate. And E2E is a nationwide movement that is launched by independent business owners to help professionals make the move from employee to entrepreneur. And I truly believe there has never been a greater time in history to become an entrepreneur. There's also so many more options to consider, so many more decisions to make, and really a lot of risk that you want to avoid if you're wanting to go on this journey of entrepreneurship. So today's presentation is just talking about how do you stack the cards in your favor, and we'll give you a blueprint of what we have known and seen to guide individuals to becoming successful entrepreneurs, and we call it your entrepreneur plan or plan E. So before we dive in today, just want you to think of these questions, have a couple warm-up questions just to see where you stand. And I'll be kind of sharing my story into entrepreneurship as well, because trust me, I never thought that I would be in business for myself. I always thought that I would work a corporate career and make a great salary. And I never thought that I would be a business owner. So I'll share with you my own journey as we go through these different slides here today. But I just want you to start taking a step back, and let's just get a little bit personal. Because entrepreneurship, even though it is business, it's also very personal. And your business, it literally will affect everything. It will affect everything that you do, but it also reflects who you are. And just to think of these questions to yourself, just answer these, which three areas of your life do you want more freedom and control over? Now, as you think about that, I'll kind of tell you what got me into entrepreneurship. I'm actually a mother of three children. I actually come from the financial services industry. This is actually nearly my 20th year in the financial services industry. And I've worked at, I don't know, probably four big name investment companies before I came here and planted my flag. And in all of and then that's why I mentioned I always thought I'd be in these corporate roles. And during my career, there was a couple things that I noticed that I just really didn't like. I just didn't have control. And the first one, which was being time. I was in over my lifetime, I got married, then I got divorced, then I found myself having to take care of three children on my own. And that was hard. It was hard having to go to a manager and say, hey, can I take half a day off so I can have a field trip activity with my children? Or, someone's sick, now I have to rush home. And another thing that I wanted more control over was just what I did. In my corporate roles at these other big investment companies, the challenge that I started to have was that those companies did not help folks like me. They didn't help folks like my family. What I mean by that is I didn't see a lot of communities of color being helped intentionally. I only saw these companies chase, top income earners and a lot of folks who had a lot of assets. They call them accredited investors. They wouldn't even have a conversation with you if you didn't have $250,000 or more in assets. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not me. That's not my family. And I found myself, the reason why I've worked with so many companies is because I was hopping around trying to find a company where I could help people like me and my family and my background. And I wanted control of that. And when I came here and saw that with WealthWave and the How Money Works company, it completely changed my mind. So I just want you to think first of all, there's no wrong answer in this and for this question, whether you want more control of your time, having fun, doing something meaningful, which was one of my other reasons, like I said, to help people and communities that I cared about. Maybe it's making more money. There's no wrong reason here. Just think about what is driving you to want to consider entrepreneurship. And then also on top of that, think of what are your two whys? Who do you pour your money and time into the most? And it's okay if it's yourself. We don't judge over here. But also think of like what accomplishment, what pursuit of lifestyle or dream drives you the most. Once again, it's okay if it's an actual thing. Some of my whys was that I wanted to change, the future generations of my family. We were coming from a family that passed on debt from generation to generation. I said, you know what? I want to be the change. I want to moving forward, pass on wealth from generation to generation. And I'm so blessed that now that will actually happen. But what if it's a thing? You could say, you know what? I want a new home, a new car. I want to have X amount of dollars, a certain lifestyle. Guess what? Again, those things are all okay because those things will keep you motivated on your journey to entrepreneurship. And look at these two quotes. Which one resonates with you the most? So the first quote is a really powerful quote by Tony Gaskins. If you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to help build theirs. Or do you prefer the famous words of wisdom by Eleanor Roosevelt, where she says the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams? If you just had to pick one or the other, just think like which one resonates the most for you. I liked in particular, for me, the Tony Gaskins quote resonated the most. I always thought, I'm always working for someone else. And whatever their dreams are, whoever created this company, they're the ones who are successful and enjoying the fruits of my labor. And that's when I started to think like, Chantay, you have so much experience, you have so much knowledge and expertise in the financial industry. Why don't you create your own business to share that in the way that you want to share it and to help others? But at the same time, I'm accomplishing my dreams and doing this work. And the entire mission of e2E is to empower you to live on your own terms. And trust me, I speak to a lot of folks, and I think the one thing that a lot of people complain about, in this day and age is they feel out of control. They feel that they're being forced to do things that they didn't want to do. They're not living on their own terms. We want you to live on your own terms and to help you gain more freedom over your time and money. And if you have entrepreneurship in your blood, it'll be fair to say not everybody's built to be an entrepreneur, and I'll talk about that on the next couple of slides. But if entrepreneurship is truly in your DNA, what we do know is that you won't be fulfilled until you become an entrepreneur. You'll probably be sitting at your job thinking and wishing you could do something else and do something more, under your control and on your terms. And until you actually make that decision, you're always going to be felt head back. And so when we, in our conversation, we want to talk about being who you were meant to be, because only then will you build what you were meant to build and impact the people that you are meant to impact. It's truly about how are you going to make a difference in the world? And we know that entrepreneurs are the ones leading the forefront on making a difference. We're the ones building the businesses and changing lives. So why entrepreneurism? Remember, the average employment position is not designed to offer freedom. It's designed to pay you a defined amount of money for a defined job. You're essentially trading your time for money. Entrepreneurs, we're designed to not have those predefined limitations. Entrepreneurs, we thrive on flexibility. We need that freedom to be creative and to dream. And at the same time, though, freedom requires time and money. And we truly believe that entrepreneurship is the only way to gain that control over time and your money. Because when you're punching the clock for someone else, another entrepreneur is getting closer to that freedom, not you. You're helping someone else. Like Tony Gaskins said, you're helping build someone else's dream. So as an employee, if your plan A was to get a promotion, or if plan B was finding a better job, you probably can see now, especially in this day and age and in our economy, those opportunities are far and few in between. You really need to look at a plan E. And we call that leading to your entrepreneurship lifestyle. This is where you own your day. You work when you want to work. You get to pick and choose who you want to work with and collaborate with. It's your escape plan for making a smooth transition from where you are to the business that you want to build. Your entrepreneur plan, it gives you an easy way of understanding what are the risks, let's lower those risks, and removing obstacles in the way. And most importantly, your plan E will help put you in a position where you can actually follow behind and get help from experienced leaders, other folks who have already been through the entrepreneurship journey who can guide you and help you on your journey. I think so many people underestimate the true value of having a mentor and someone who's paved the way helping you. At the end of the day, too, we want to be real. There always will be failures, along the road to building a business. Maybe you tried having a business before and it wasn't successful. We know that when you have a solid plan in place, that you can keep moving forward, regardless of the hurdles. You're not forced to retreat back to working for someone else. That's really the difference between hitting a dead end or hitting the mark. And when you have a clear plan, it really does dramatically increase your chances of making it. Again, we're shooting for freedom over time and money. You really need to have a concrete plan to reach that goal. So let's just explore the essential elements of a solid plan E. We're going to go over the risk, the reality, the mindset, the answers, the people, the options, and finally, the E factor. Now, I think a lot of folks, when they go into business for themselves, the one thing that they really don't factor in is the risk. Any one of these risks that's listed here on the screen, they can set you back. They really can knock you back. The goal is to calculate the particular risk for the business that you choose. You do need to ask yourself some legitimate questions like, what are the startup costs? Can you actually afford those? Is there a proven system to follow that can create predictable results? Do you have to develop your own marketing material from scratch, or can you utilize what someone else has already developed? As you know, technology is essential to any business today. Is the technology already there, or where you have to create it? Can you share those tech costs with other people to lower your investment? And can you get positive cash flow before you run out of money? Either having too few customers or having too many customers, that both ends of the spectrum can actually be a problem. Are you prepared for either of those scenarios? How fast do you think you can really increase your cash flow when you're not burning cash and you're actually making cash? This one is big. Have you ever considered the legal documents and contracts that you need to protect your business? We do workshops for entrepreneurs all the time, and I think that's one areas that a lot of business owners don't factor in is the legal aspects, protecting their business. So that's a lot of questions to consider, but looking at how to lower or avoid these risks should be the very first steps that you take. It sounds like it's a lot of hard work. It is, true. True entrepreneurs, though, we don't back away from hard work. We welcome the challenge, but you also have to be realistic so that you don't lose any momentum, so that you don't lose any business. And again, we want to help you reach your dreams. So speaking of being realistic, our next essential to face is the reality. And I'm going to put this pretty bluntly. Becoming a successful entrepreneur is going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. And if you want something that's rewarding, that's long lasting, that's freeing, that gives you that the success of owning a business can provide, you are going to have to be tough, because the reality is it's worth it. But just know it is going to be hard. Have you heard that quote? If it was so easy, everyone would do it. Entrepreneurship is not always that easy, but is it worth it compared to other opportunities? We have this chart here. Let's think about how hard is something and how worth it is it. So easy is at the bottom, hard is at the top, not worth it is over there on the left, and worth it is on the right. So let's kind of think of like what do we have available to us from the perspective of working and having a job or a career. First of all, let's just look at low skill and high skill jobs. So a low skill job is one that almost anyone can be trained to do. It's pretty easy, but it likely doesn't pay that much. So it makes it not worth it for a lot of people. And then you have your high skill jobs, which can require, a higher level of training education, intelligence, or talent, or even all of those. But due to how extraordinary you have to be as an individual to qualify for those jobs, the work can be relatively easy for that extraordinary person. And for them, it's worth it. And those high skilled jobs also tend to pay well. But the problem with high skilled jobs is that there are fewer positions available and fewer people who even qualify for those positions, which put those types of jobs out of reach for a whole lot of people. But just look at this as well. Even high skilled employees, some of those who are higher up the ladder, they have a title, they might have a little corner office. They themselves, they're still working for another entrepreneur who determines when they work and how much they can earn. You can't skip that reality. Now we add low and high paid managers, low paid management positions, which in reality, they only really pay a little more than low skilled jobs, but you get a whole lot more responsibility. You get a whole lot more headaches for sure. Those jobs are generally harder because of the added stress and the pressure. And because of that, they're only a little bit more worth it. Like if you're really trying to become a manager, you're like, I might make a little more, but I take on all this headache with it. And again, you might even get a significant pay hike, but it involves typically a lot of pressure and a whole lot of hours. And that can make the higher salaries and the perks, again, just only a little more worth it. But finally, when we talk about entrepreneurs, the opportunity of an entrepreneur, it's pretty clear. It's the hardest, but guess what? It's also the most worth it. There are countless entrepreneurs that have no talent. They don't have no more talent, intelligence, training, or you or me. But what they do have is grit. They have determination, have vision, they have self-belief, they believe in themselves. They welcome the hardships because they prepare for them and they qualify for them. And they know that there's unlimited possibilities offered only by being a business owner. So to have freedom to accomplish their dreams and to make the type of money they want, they're okay with working hard for it. And that's something that you really need to ask yourself, because again, entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. Maybe you are meant to be an employee and that's okay, but understand the spectrum here that we just talked about. And one of the phenomena that you will likely face, this is actually what marketing guru Seth Godin refers to as the dip. This is like when you're first getting started in entrepreneurship, you have that honeymoon phase where you get some reward. Maybe you have like your first sales, your first customers or clients, but then pretty quickly, the reality of business sets in. You're working really long hours. You're probably frustrated because maybe your cash flow is getting little or it's limited. You probably have less appreciation for the work that you're doing. And at some point, it might be like, you know what, is this even worth it? This is where you get to that dark valley called the dip. And this is honestly where a lot of people in business quit. They quit. They're just like, you know what, I'm tired of this. I don't want to do it. But what we know is that if you can push beyond the dip onto the other side, you'll rise to the top. And that's where the payoff is the greatest. Efforts are rewarded as your business will scale, as you grow in your business. This is the reality. The question you have to ask yourself is, when you get to that dip, because you'll undoubtedly get there, will you beat it? Will you persist? Will you keep going forward and win? And you can actually read more about this concept in Seth Godin's book. It's called The Dip. It's actually a really nice, fast, and uplifting. It's a nice little uplifting read as well. So knowing the reality, it's time to talk about the mindset that every entrepreneur must have. Because what you say to yourself between your two ears, it's super important. We believe it's a prerequisite for success. So famous football coach Lou Holtz said, in this world, you're either growing or you're dying. So get in motion and grow. And this is really the mindset that you need to keep growing and prevent stagnation. You're going to face so many struggles in entrepreneurship. There's really no way around it. The idea of having, I just work a 9 to 5, those are things of the past. When you first getting started, you'll probably be working 16-hour days, probably weekends. You thought you had time for hobbies and entertainment. Probably not in the beginning, because your business will come first. You're growing it. It'll probably even come before your family for a period of time. get used to hearing no. You'll need all the positivity you can get. So you really don't want to have any negative people in your life. Really prepare for every day to be uncomfortable. You know, you might have an emergency every single day. We just want you to be real understanding of what these struggles will actually be. But at the end of the day, when we talk about mindset of an entrepreneur, you have to ask yourself, are you willing to make sacrifices? You know, working those long days, not being there for your family as much as you probably would like to. Because when you make those sacrifices, you know it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it for yourself, for your family, to earn the life you want. This is where you really jump that hurdle. You cross the divide from others owning your time and money to you owning your time and money. You have to become mentally tough. You know, and here are 4 mental toughness tips that, you know, will help prepare you for resiliency that you'll need, because you're going to be working on the same goal for years, you know, pushing through after failure. You must apply sustained concentration. It's also known as persistent focus. And emotion, it's a poor navigator for your business. Like, sometimes we just don't feel like it, okay? It's the reality. But it's also, emotion is an excellent at increasing your self-motivation, inspiring others to support you. You know, when you have folks who support you, you'll remain dedicated to your goals, to your mission. Use logic, you know, fueled by data, metrics. Be brutally honest about where your business is going. And number 4 is face your fears. Push forward with the courage of someone who has nothing to lose. You know, this will really help you on your mental journey in entrepreneurship. And I mentioned it a little bit earlier. You heard me use the term grit today. Grit is just like sticking out day in, day out, not just for the week, not just for the month, but for the years. This is probably one of the top qualities that determines who actually wins in entrepreneurship or who quits, you know, who succeeds or who fails. Grit is something that we can't teach you. You can't buy it. It's really something that you have to have inside of you to overcome any struggles that you might face. So let's stop talking about all the bad stuff. Let's talk about the answers. Now that we talked about our mindset, now we want you to just think about answers to questions that you have to have answered before you start your business. And these are answers, again, that before you do anything, you have to know the answers to these questions. This is the foundation of your plan E. So you really want to consider them carefully, research them thoroughly. And you're certainly welcome to consult myself or any of the e2E advocates who are invited you to watch this presentation, you know, who can help you answer these questions. But let's just start with the first one. Let's start with the industry. You know, with intention, what industry will you choose? You know, consider the industry. Is it stable? Is there potential? Are there trends? How big is that industry? One reason why I chose the financial industry was because it's the largest industry in the world. A lot of people think it's real estate. It's actually not. It's multiple times bigger than real estate. It's multiple times bigger than retail. I wanted to be in the biggest industry in the world because that's where the opportunities lie. There's where the money is. Think about your market. Who will your customers and clients be? Who will you serve? And for me, like I mentioned earlier, the reason why I got into working with this company is because at previous places that I worked at, I couldn't serve my market. My market were, I wouldn't say poor people, but like low, middle class folks, families who didn't have a lot of assets, but they had the desire and they were serious about their money. I couldn't help them at other companies. So here I was like, all right, this company, we focus on middle America, the middle class market, who for the 99% of Americans who actually need financial help. But then also when you're starting your business, think about what makes you different. What's different from you than your competitors? What's your, you know, special formula? What's your secret sauce? Can that easily be copied, or do you have to protect it for competitors? I know, like I said, having the experience of going to other companies here, the secret sauce was from day one. I saw it. I was like, wow, it's education. We focus on financial education. We'll have a conversation with anyone. As long as you're serious about your money, we'll work with you. That is not that's completely unheard of at other big financial companies. They won't waste their time. They literally would not have a conversation with you once they find out you don't meet their, you know, minimum requirements. So it's so sad. So for here, I love this platform because we're different in how we approach financial services. For you, as you think about your business, what is your product? What is your service? How much will it cost to sell? What materials do you need? I like this. I love this question rather. What is the big solution that you're trying to bring to the world? I love working with WealthWave and the How Money Works company because we're not trying, we are eradicating financial illiteracy. We're helping thousands and thousands of families every single day through our education platform. I'm so proud to be a part of that. To see families like mine who used to struggle financially, now they have a handle on their finances. Now they know future generations won't deal with debt and making bad financial decisions like the previous generations did. But anyway, what's your solution that you're going to bring? And lastly, what unique ability qualifies you to solve this big problem? Do you have licenses or skills or the talents that you must have to really solve that problem and to help folks in your market? So really defining these parameters for your business is critical. It really will help you define your vision and help you sharpen your focus on reaching your goals. So now that you have your answers in hand, it's time to determine the people that you need to surround yourself with and involve from day one, because the people you choose to work with, they are just as critical in your business. Your partners, your mentors and collaborators, they will impact you every way that you'll be measured as an entrepreneur, what your success will look like, what your income will look like. As the great Jim Rohn said here, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think of those 5 people in your life currently. Do you want to be the average of them? Or do you want to be a successful entrepreneur? You might have to make some hard decisions about who you spend your time with. And our number one core belief with e2E is that we lose when we go it alone, and when we win when we depend upon one another. I had the right people to help me. I thank God every day that someone had the guts to introduce me to our company, and that someone had the guts to even approach me already being in the industry. I was so jaded to say, Chantay, we have something so much better. Just take a look. And we know that with this plan, and having the right people to help you, we want to help you pay it forward. Mentorship is so essential for entrepreneurs to succeed at every step. We all need that strength of encouragement. We need that step-by-step guidance. You need that experience from those who have gone before you. I thank my mentor. He never gives up on me, never. I've worked with him for 10 plus years. He's always been there. And every time that I question myself and my abilities and wasn't happy where I was, my mentor always stood in, gave me a word of encouragement, and helped me move past those hurdles. It's so important to have those people in your corner. And the camaraderie, I can't tell you the camaraderie, how important that is. You want to be around people who you laugh with, who support you, who you develop these big, strong friendships with, to where you all are in the trenches, you're working together, but you also share your victories together. At our company and even in our office, we have that camaraderie. I'm so proud of the people that I work with. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have our own story. We all love each other so much, and we're all moving forward together to help erase financial illiteracy. So Helen Keller put it best: alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. That's so true. All right, guys, as I finish up, don't hang on, I have a couple more slides, but as we approach this finish line on your plan E, you also want to consider some options of like how much time you can put into your new business. Because remember, you're the boss. You decide if you work 4 hours a week, 40 hours a week, or 80 hours a week. Obviously, working more hours can't give you that velocity, but any number of hours, that's your choice. That's your choice. That's the beauty of being a business owner. Some entrepreneurs can produce substantial incomes with very small but very focused time investment. It really just depends on the business you choose, whether you want to do your business spare time, part-time, full-time, big time. You're the boss, so you determine that. And take heart this quote from Inc. magazine. It says, many people are working full time, but also pursuing their business passions on the side. These people are just as much entrepreneur as those who do it full time. So don't let anyone tell you, oh, Chantay, you're doing that little thing for 4 hours a week. Don't let nobody tell you that that's not enough. You're working early, you're working like late at night on weekends. That's the true sweat of an entrepreneur. And that's really the true foundation of a great business. So, and here's the last essential element of your plan E, the E factor, the factor that every entrepreneur must look, especially in our post-pandemic technology first, new normal. Like, remember when everything shut down, we couldn't go anywhere, couldn't touch anybody, just like Zoom, what we're on right now. This was our new way of communicating. You have to be a digitally enabled entrepreneur. You really do. You cannot ignore technology in your business. You have to have it. You want to have the best of the best technology to where you can work anywhere, at any time with low risk, low investment, zero inventory, but something that's scalable. Having a digital business is something that can offer you. It's undeniable. It's not this like pie in the sky futuristic thing. No, it's real. It's now. You have to have a technological advanced business. And I love my business because it's just that. Like in the pandemic, I actually worked more and held more meetings because of the technology that we have. I've been on like 5 vacations this year, and I was able to do business because all I needed was a Wi-Fi connection. And I wish that for any entrepreneur in your business that you have that opportunity as well. So now that you have the essentials for this plan, again, the plan will help you get organized. You'll have some clarity. You'll know what to do to avoid setbacks and to accelerate your success. So my final challenge to you is just live it. Being an entrepreneur, it's about breaking free. You have no excuses. You're not looking back. Own the freedom to be your own boss. Set your schedule. Work from anywhere. Focus on your loved ones. Remove limits, become the leader you were meant to be. I can truly say that I have accomplished these things, in our company here in the financial services industry. I set my own schedule. Never again do I have to ask someone, hey, I want to take some time off because my kids are sick and I need to stay home. I'll never have to ask anyone that. I can work from anywhere. I had just had a vacation in not New Orleans, in Orlando, Florida, working from there, but I was at Disney World. Great. I was able to focus on my loved ones. I can be there for my family, my children, my parents in the way that I want. So there's really no limitations. And you could be a leader. I'm a true leader, not only in my communities and our company and our office. Like I said, I never thought that I would be a business owner for myself. I never could see myself at the top and sharing my knowledge and expertise, but here I am. I am that leader, and it's amazing to where you can build yourself into these things and to share to share yourself with others. So embrace this. What then is freedom? The power to live as one wishes. My last slide here. If you were born to be an entrepreneur, a free business leader, I'm here to tell you on behalf of all my fellow e2E advocates, there is an easier way. You can make the move. If you're ready, we're available to help you. We want to help you plot your escape and plan your success. So reach out to the e2E advocate who invited you here. Reach out to them right away, directly after this presentation, directly after you watch this recording to get started. You will thank them, just like how I thank the person who introduced me. You'll thank God that they thought of you and we're there to help you. So thank you everyone for joining. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and you have a good day.